That was a very vigorous hello. This is so awkward. Okay. Let's start this all again. Hello, my name is Lakin, and welcome to my channel. So, I've decided that I want to make a TBR jar. I'm probably one of the last people to make a TBR jar. This is not original, this is not clever, but I want to do it, so I'm going to. Instead of me just like making it and like talking about the books that I'm adding and stuff like that, I figured I would also add in the TBR tag and like answer the questions and stuff like that. So I looked it up and there's a lot of different TBR tags, but I saw this one last week and I was like, I'm going to use these questions. So I'm using the questions that Ariel, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but I'm going to leave her video down below, and I think she says where she got the questions from, so yeah. But before we get started in that, I want to actually talk about my jar, so that way you understand kind of what you're watching. But I'm basically taking a whole bunch of pieces of paper and writing every single book I want to read, because I'm one of those people that like, I have all these books in my head that I want to read, but then I go to the library and I get distracted by a pretty cover. And then I totally forget that, oh yeah, I wanted to try to look for that book. But now I'm reading this totally new book that I've never even heard of. And I mean, it's great, but I also never pick up the book that I had been wanting to pick up. So hopefully this will help with that. And so I'll pick a TBR for each month, which I've never done that before. So hopefully it works out. But yeah, but I'm writing the names on pieces of paper and folding them up into little hearts, little origami hearts. And then once I read them, I will put them in another jar because I don't want to get rid of the cute little hearts. But that way I can like see how many books I have read versus how many books I have yet to read. If you have any recommendations based on the books I talk about in here, I read a lot of different stuff. And so, yeah. If you want to like recommend books, then I will definitely look at them up and like see, and if I'm interested, I'll definitely add them to my TBR jar. Like, write some of your favorite books and I will check them out. But I will have a Goodreads reading shelf that has it will say TBR jar. And so all the books that I have written in that I've written and want to read will be in that jar, so you can kind of like look and see what books that I've put in there. And yeah, I guess that's it. Let's go ahead and get into the questions, shall we? The first question is, how do you keep track of your TBR pile? Before this, I didn't. Like, at all. Because I don't buy books that often. So, like, I don't just, like, be like, ooh, I want to read this book, so I buy it, and then I put it on there. Because, like, there's a lot of books that I want to read, and, like, I don't even put on my want to read Goodreads page. Like, it's just, there's so many books that I'm like, ooh. And, like, I probably have random lists of, like, a couple books, like, in random places, like, everywhere. Like, it's a mess. That's why I'm hoping this TBR jar, like, I can just have it compact, and every time I find a book I want to read, I can just add it to that jar. And I don't have to follow the jar completely, but, like, it's definitely, like, a helping tool to help me get through the books I actually want to read. Next question is your TBR mostly print or ebook? It's mostly I don't own them. Like, this side of our bookshelf is all of mine and my husband's books that we own. I had a lot more, But when we moved to this house, I just decided to purge and sell so that way I could get more money for books. But, so, yeah, I got rid of a lot of books. And so this is all we have, print-wise. And I have a couple ebooks. I'm starting to get more into ebooks, or at least I'm trying to. But, yeah, it's a lot of, I don't own these books. Next question is, how do you determine which book on your TBR to read next? With this new system, I hope to just pull it out of the jar, like pull like 5 or so, and then mood read from there. And if there's a book on there that I really, really don't want to read, I can just put it back in the jar for later and pick it back out. So still kind of mood reading like I do now, but also more confined mood reading. So now we're getting into like the show and tell part. And this one is a book that's been on your TBR list the longest. So since my TBR is all over the place, for this one I'm going to use my physical shelf. On the Origin of Species, by Means of Natural Selection by Charles Darwin. This is his evolution theory, and I want to read this. I was a zoology student at university, and we were talking about this, and I wanted to read it for myself and actually form my own opinions about the evolution theory and all that, and not just what other people tell me. So I've had this book for like since freshman year of university, which was like 4 or 5 years ago. I've had it for a long time, but like I just keep putting it off because I know I want to annotate and like take lots of notes, and I also know it's gonna be tough to read because it's not what I'm used to reading, and I want to actually like form an opinion after this and not just say I read it. So I keep putting it off because I know it's going to be a lot of work and it's kind of intimidating, but it's a really pretty cover. Next question is a book that you've recently added to your TBR list. The most recent book that I've bought to add to my TBR, The Nest. I got it from Goodwill for not even $1 because it was, the orange sticker was half price, but I got The Nest. So this is the latest book that I've bought. And then the latest book that I've added to my Goodreads TBR, if I'm remembering correctly, is Sold on a Monday. I don't know who it's written by, but it's a historical fiction. And so those are the 2 books that I've recently added. The next one is a book on your TBR that's strictly there because of its beautiful cover. This one is a toughie for me because I don't read synopsises as much as I should. I should probably start, but I don't do it as often, and I go based on, okay, it's in this genre, I know that. Has a very cool cover, very interesting title. Let's read it. And that's it. So a lot of my books, it's just like, I was attracted to the cover. The next one is a book on your TBR that you never plan on reading. For this, still sticking with my physical right here, will be, I can't reach it because it's stacked funky, but it's the Odyssey. Now, I've read the Odyssey in school. I've read the shortened version, but I have the complete Odyssey up there, and I have it because I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I'm ever going to actually read the full Odyssey. The same with like a lot of those classic tales. Like, I love them so much, but I don't know if I'm ever going to actually read the entire thing and not like the shortened version kind of thing. So, yeah. The next one is an unpublished book on your TBR that you're excited for. So I'm not very good on keeping up with like books that are going to be published soon that like I'm interested in, unless it's in like a series that I'm already reading. But a book that I'm really excited for it to come out, but we don't know when it's coming out, at least not yet, is Pistol Daisy by Natalia Lee. She is a AuthorTube person on here, and just like watching her like work through this book and this series, like I'm really excited to read that, and hopefully it comes out soon. So yeah, that's the book that I'm saying. Go check her channel out. I'll leave it down in the description. The next one is a book on your TBR that basically everyone has read but you. And I'm going to have to go with my non-physical TBR, and it's a lot of it. I am always so behind on the hype that it's not even funny. Like, I've wanted to read these books, but I always just forget to go for them whenever I'm at the library, which is like To All the Boys I Loved Before, The Raven Boys, and Red, White, and Royal Blue. What else? I feel like everyone and their mother has read those books, and I want to know what they're talking about. Like, I feel like I'll enjoy them, but I just haven't picked them up yet, and I don't know why. The next one is a book on your TBR that everyone's recommended to you. And I don't have many friends IRL that love to read as much as I do. And so I haven't gotten a lot of recommendations on books. Usually I'm the one recommending books. But one that has been recommended to me, like, a couple times is Where the Crawdads Sing. And I want to read that. So, yeah. That's the book that's been recommended to me that I know I need to read, and I will soon. I promise. The next one is a book on your TBR that you are dying to read. I know this is a lazy answer, but all of them? Yeah. Like, I want to read all of them someday. Some books that I really want to read are, like, the ones that I've just mentioned. And, like, No Exit or more Gillian Flynn. And I really want to read some more V.E. Schwab. I want to finish the Butterfly Garden series by Dot Hutcherson. This list that of the books that I'm dying to read could go on, but I'm just going to stop it there. And yeah, if it's on my TBR, I'm dying to read it. Just so you know. And the last question is, how many books are on your TBR? So, I'm going to do two answers. I don't know how many books are in my TBR jar yet, but I'll put that answer right here on the screen now. I don't know how big of a number this is, but I hope it's reasonable. Because I know it's only going to go up. Hopefully it goes down too, but you know. But my physical TBR, I only have 15 books on my shelf that I have not read. Yeah. So, I could actually knock that out. No problem. But we'll see how actually long it takes. Those are all the questions. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and yeah, let me know some, like, if you've done a TBR jar and, like, how it works for you, or let me know some books that you're like, hey, I went to your Goodreads and I saw that you don't have this book on your TBR jar. You should really check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day or evening whenever you're watching this, and I will see you next Monday for my next video. Bye!